Evening everybody, Silverbolt here, back for a Transformers review, going to be doing, as per the title page, Cyclonus, 25th Anniversary Edition. Okay, doing this in the evening, mainly because I just finished painting off the last of my tower. As you can tell, I've still got paint in my hands. And in the last few weeks I have managed to paint up 11 Crisis Suits, 12 Fire Warriors, 3 Hammerheads, 2 Piranhas, 2 Broadsides, 6 Stealth Suits, and I don't even want to begin to think how many gun drones. So I thought I would do one of the nicest toys I have ever come across. But anyway, on Cyclonus, a couple of things about this video. One, this particular video is going to focus on Cyclonus as he is in the cartoon continuity of the G1 storyline. Which leaves me with an option to do a second video doing the original toy, to focus on his much more expansive comic continuity. The other thing that I am not going to be doing in any great depth is the long debated, long heated conversation of who is Cyclonus. Is it Skywarp or is it Bombshell? I will not be doing that. I will give a very brief overview of who I think Cyclonus is, but if you watch my Skywarp video you could probably fast forward it. Okay, now Cyclonus the Warrior, as he is dubbed by Unicron, and his armada. That sounded nothing like Orson Welles. Anyway, now among the Decepticons, having somebody you can trust is, well, it's fairly non-existent, because most Decepticons, in fact nearly all Decepticons, unless they're very stupid, are all basically out to swindle, pillage, maim, murder, and stab everybody in the back. Cyclonus is the exception to the rule. He is incredibly loyal. He's rather like a cute little puppy in some regards. You know, he's very, very loyal. He follows Galvatron around like little Miss Bo Peep looking for a sheep. And consider the fact that he is Galvatron's punching bag. It's rather strange to think why. But anyway, Cyclonus shows up in Transformers the movie, the 1986 version, and he is reformatted from either Bombshell or Skywarp. My personal opinion is that it is Skywarp, namely because Cyclonus is very loyal to Galvatron in the same way that Skywarp was very loyal to Megatron, and also in the cartoon at least, Cyclonus doesn't appear to be overly particularly bright. Neither was Skywarp. And that's just two reasons, but as I said, I don't want to go into the whole hoo-ha of who's Cyclonus and who's Bombshell. There are a million different topics on it, on a million different threads. There's discussions on it on TFU. No, I don't know if there's on TFU. There's discussions on it on both the normal Wikipedia and the Transformers wiki. So there's no need for me to go and reiterate it back to you. My personal belief is that it is Skywarp. Was reformatted from Skywarp. Along with the simple fact that I think Cyclonus was Skywarp was an awful lot cooler than Bombshell. I mean, you could be the nice eagle plane, or you can be a bug. Anyway, right, when Cyclonus is first created, he is created as Cyclonus the Warrior and his armada. And there, in that scene, there is a second Cyclonus. And again, there are various hypotheses going around about exactly what becomes, or what is, or who is that second Cyclonus. And, well, at some point, he even got his own name, as in he is simply a twin of Cyclonus called Armada. So anyway, now in the movie, Cyclonus, who features, is pretty much nothing but Galvatron's lapdog, attack dog, not lapdog, and all-round bitch, to the point where Galvatron rides in his cockpit. After the movie, however, Cyclonus comes to the fore as one of the very centralised characters. First off, he speaks. And Cyclonus' voice has long been a sense of pretty much Mickey taking amongst the fandom, because his voice constantly changes pitch. It's always changing pitch. I mean, at most of the times he comes across as this very monotone, almost Soundwave-esque, and then at other times he can almost appear to be quite passionate and derisive of other Decepticons. He's voiced by Jack Angel in the G1 cartoons, and there has been things going around about why Jack Angel kept changing the voice of Cyclonus, but it's not really neither here nor there. Suffice to say, Cyclonus' voice changes quite a bit. And yes, I know I'm playing with my hair an awful lot, but I've been doing it all bloody day for some mad reason. I'd actually worn out the hair gel by probably about midday, and my hair was like flopping, but there we go. I'm actually half considering growing it back, but because it's uncontrollable at this stage. But anyway, not the point. Tangent. When at the start of Transformers Season 3, the Decepticons are very much beaten, and they are slowly starving to death on the planet Char, and they are fighting amongst themselves more than usual. And Cyclonus decides that he's going to go look for Galvatron. And he goes after Galvatron, and he finds Galvatron, and gets a smack to the face for all his troubles. Because Galvatron is, of course, rather rather loony after his dip in a plasma bath in Thrall. On Thrall. The planet Thrall. Now, Cyclonus' first pretty much standalone adventure, after getting the snot kicked out of him by Galvatron, for the first of several times, is when they get kidnapped, is when Cyclonus gets kidnapped by a Quintesson. And it's there when he first meets Ultra Magnus, and him and Ultra Magnus, by the end of the episode, have developed a very respective warrior rivalry amongst each other. They don't like each other, obviously enough, but they do respect the fact that both of them are warriors. Warriors. Why do I keep trying to say it like I'm Orson Welles? But anyway. And that was the start of Cyclonus' adventures. He was possessed by Starscream at one point, though only briefly before Starscream jumped into, I believe it was Scourge. And of course it is Cyclonus and Scourge, after getting a pounding by the aerial bots, land on the planet Paragon, where there's a very peaceful, pacifistic, tree-hugging, flower-kissing, free-loving bunch of hippie Autobots on the planet, which of course eventually is where the third Autobot triple changer, Sandstorm, comes into it, not including Omega Supreme. No, does Omega Supreme even a triple changer? No, he's not. But anyway, yes, Sandstorm comes into that one. He is turned into a energy vampire after Galvatron, being Galvatron, throws him at the monster whose name escapes me, one of the cyber mutants that the Quintessons have been playing with. I believe it was the Quintessons, I can't remember now. And he's turned into an energy vampire. The main thing that Galvatron, I can't think of his sudden name now. Cyclonus! There we go! Well done, Simon! Ah! Talk about brain freeze. Well, brain dead. One of the funniest episodes, it's considered by many fans for its sweet irony, is when, of course, Galvatron, who has been beating up all these men for the millionth time, eventually gets sick of this, and they approach Cyclonus and say, do something about him. Cyclonus tricks Galvatron into sending him to the planet Torkalon, something like that. Which is in fact one giant loony asylum. And Galvatron gets, well, seemingly cured by infecting the entire living planet. Yeah, Season 3 was noted for its really, really, really weird storylines. Because after that, Galvatron becomes something a little bit more resembling normal. And Cyclonus' last main adventure is on the planet, in, of course, the Rebirth. where Cyclonus and Scourge, who of course Galvatron's second in commands, are sent after the Autobots to Nebulon, where after being brutalised by it, by Zarek, he becomes a target master. In fact, it's Cyclonus' idea to make the animal Decepticons into headmasters and the non-animal Decepticons into target masters. So of course he gets bonded with Nightstick. And that marks an end to the G1 cartoon. And a couple of things about that is, one of the things that really does show about Cyclonus is, despite his own loyalty to his own leader, he really doesn't have much, he doesn't seem to have much of a concept of loyalty. I mean, so whether he's loyal to Galvatron or whether he's just blindly obedient, it's a little bit of a strange one, because Cyclonus he actually looks really cool at this, because he's just leaning against the spaceship in the Rebirth, and he's just, you can just imagine him, pinching the bridge of his nose, thinking, oh, crying out loud, what am I doing here? Because he turns around and says to Scourge, "You just love to waste your time, don't you, Scourge?" God, I'm bad with accents. Scourge goes, "What's that supposed to mean?" And Cyclonus turns around and says, "Well, isn't it obvious? If any of these losers had the key, the other Autobots would have been all over us by now." By the way, I can quote the Rebirth, all 3 episodes, pretty much from start to finish. I watched it that much. Because when I was a child, it was the only Transformers one that I had, apart from the Dark Awakening and Grimlock's New Brain, that I had on VHS, so it just goes to show my age. And Cyclonus turns around and says, "Well, isn't it obvious? If any of these losers had the key, the other Autobots would be all over us by now." And it doesn't seem to actually sink into his head that the other Autobots would come for their friends purely because they've been captured, not because they hold anything of strategic value. So that's one of the... You can look at it that way, or you can just look at it as just one of the many bad dialogue scripting that there is. Another thing that's to be mentioned about Cyclonus is he's actually had 2 designs, and both have appeared in the cartoon. Very, very early on, I think it may only have actually been in the movie, Cyclonus' wings are placed more towards the back of his arm. Later on, the wings are very prominently at his shoulder blades. His head has a bit of a change. It becomes slightly wider, slightly more conical, with of course the 2 phallus-shaped pointy things, Roger Rabbit ears, whatever. If you know what I mean, then it's not. If you don't know what I mean, it's quite hard. It's quite easy to see. Just type in Cyclonus into the Transformers wiki, because it has both versions of him. He goes through a bit of a colour scheme, especially in the Rebirth. His purple gets much darker in the Rebirth. It gets much, much darker. That's it for the cartoon, because I probably said an awful lot on it at this point. However, so I'm going to go into the toy now, because as I said at the beginning, I'm not going to do the comic continuity here, because it allows me to do the G1 Cyclonus toy. Anyway, on to this toy. Cyclonus in the cartoon transforms into a space-age jet, a Cybertronian fighter attack craft. And this toy is beautiful, to put it simply. Ever since I first saw the stock photos of Cyclonus, I have wanted it. And it's mainly for Nightstick, which I'll get to. And Hasbro were very much forgiven for the original Cyclonus toy with this one. Okay, released through the 25th anniversary range, he is a deluxe class. Stands a bit taller than Galvatron, mainly because he's got quite long, gangly legs. And I really think this is one of the crowning achievements of Hasbro. Really, really is. Okay, transforming him. Push the nose cone in, slots in simply like that. Okay. Unsnap the arm pieces, and this is genius. The legs, which I've never seen on a Transformers toy to my recollection at the moment, are in 2 parts. One goes at the top, one goes at the bottom, and you just pull them down and snap them into place. Do that on both legs. There we go. Well, I can do it. Come on. Snap into place. Fold the feet down. Now, these bits here, which form the arms. Now, this may not be much of a surprise. This may be recognisable to some people because they were put on. They used this style of kind of like wing pieces that snap up and snap down on titanium Megatron, and a lot of people have a lot of issues with titanium Megatron, and this arm piece design is one of the contentions that they have, because it's constantly popping out, and I've got titanium Megatron and I can agree it is constantly popping out. But Hasbro have seemingly fixed this problem. In fact, they have fixed this problem. Okay, you need to snap out the cockpit part first, push in the nose cone, snap it back into place, and turn his head round, and then you just clip these into place, snap the wings round so they go sit like that, do that with the other one as well. Okay, you just pull the arms down, assuming that I can actually pull the arms down. There we go. Just pulling it, tugging on it slightly wrong. Come on. Come on. Gently, gently, gently. No, no, you're not going to work, are you? You're not going to do it for me, are you? Yes, you are. There we go. They're slightly fiddly. Okay. And then, last but not least, turn the hands round. And then you have also his Target Master nightstick, which fits quite snugly in, strangely enough, only one hand. This hand has got an open fist, but this hand, it's fully closed. Why he can only hold it in his right hand, I don't know. Right, okay, do Nightstick first. No, sorry, do Cyclonus first. Simply put, he is fantastic. He really is. He has got great articulation. He moves. He can be put in various shooting poses. An absolutely stunning robot mode and an absolutely fantastic alt mode. I really am gaga over this toy. I think part of it may well be the fact that it's got a Target Master, because the Target Masters have long been my favourite type of G1 Transformers. They really have been. I've always been a huge fan. I really did enjoy the Rebirth. I really liked it. I thought the Target Masters and the Headmasters were a great idea that should have been continued on. Okay, now onto Nightstick. And Nightstick is another. Now, I was going to get my original Nightstick out, but it's in one of about 5 boxes of Transformers, you know, big crisp boxes of Transformers. No, correction, there's 4 of them, because one of them's full of Dino Riders, that I still haven't unpacked. And as such, a lot of the little ones are all missing. I mean, I can't seem to find half my Target Master guns that I've got. Because they're all in these boxes somewhere. I mean, I know where all my Headmasters, they're in Fort Max's shoulder pad thingy. But anyway, so I haven't got Nightstick. Nightstick, of course, in the toy range is the most famous of all the Target Masters, because of the simple fact there's so bloody many versions of him. Because he was released in the 25th anniversary version, not the 25th anniversary. He was released with the original Cyclonus. He was released with Artfire. I believe Artfire, the Japanese Target Master, had Nightstick with him, and he was also issued with Ricochet. Who was another Japanese Target Master, and he came with Nightstick, and that's actually where I've got my Nightstick from. It's from the reissue Ricochet. Okay, but anyway, this version of Nightstick, very true to its cartoon version, long-barreled, with the 2 very distinctive, almost like mini barrels at the front. Okay, transforming him. pull the legs down, and you've got to pull the waist out slightly and snip it into place. Pull the two little feet things down, snap them into place, and fold the barrel down. And there you have Target Master nightstick. I'm just going to do a quick size comparison because I have got Classics Bumblebee holding Blur's gun, whose name currently escapes me. Haywire? That's not all. Pinpointer? No? I can't remember Blur's Target Master Companion now. But anyway, that's Blur's Target Master Companion. Size comparison. Virtually identical in size. Virtually identical. So, sorry, my screen just come up. So virtually identical in size. Articulation wise, well, the majority of, well, all but two of the G1 Target Masters do that. Fold into their respective guns. Do you know what? It's really bugging me now because I can't think of the name of this guy, and it's really bugging me. But anyway, onto the articulation on this toy. Well, for one thing, its arms move up and down, and you'd think that'd be about it. However, its legs move independently directions at the hip. Sorry. But for me, the crowning point on this toy, and the one thing that makes me, in this video, at least sing Hasbro's praises to the gods of the stars, is this. He has a movable elbow joint, and I think that is fantastic. I think that is brilliant. This toy I love. I absolutely think it's brilliant. I really, really do. I encourage everybody to get it. It is a deluxe. As I said, stands a bit taller than Galvatron, but he is worth it. You know, deluxes aren't hugely expensive anyway, but he is so worth it. Thanks to my friend Nicole, Hailstorm off the Moonbase 2 forums, for being an absolute treasure of a woman and picking this up for me and sending it me over. You are fantastic, and as soon as I actually get something resembling spare change, expect another shopping list, though the way things are going at the moment, that's not going to be happening for a very long time. But anyway, that's me for now, so I'm going to sign off. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I've certainly enjoyed making this one because I've been wanting to do this toy for quite a while now. It's actually a toss-up between this toy and Devastator, because I'm just going to do, I was waiting on somebody else to do a Devastator review with me, but I've given up on that one. I'm just going to do it myself at some point, whenever I can. So, but yes, for now, this is, yeah, I'm Silverbolt, this is Cyclonus, and this is Nightstick, signing off saying, and random person whose name I can't remember. Before I upload this, I'm going to write it in the notes. I'm going to write it in the notes who it is. Signing off, saying au revoir, adios, auf Wiedersehen.